me and him are like telepathic, you know what I mean?
I know my brother better than anybody else.
When both come together, you have greatness.
An epic chance of a lifetime. And it could be yours. Oasis is coming for you.
Set your faces to stun, people, because we've got some epic news coming your way. And no, Sam isn't bringing out the guitar for a round of Wonderwall.
Wait, no.
Something
You actually
even
said I
bigger than that. Huge.
And that there is how long it will be until you find out the full details.
Yes.
You know what's important when there's a clock.
Yeah.
A countdown clock.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens then?
Yeah, that's the question,
That's the
Steve.
point of the whole thing.
Do us to spoil
Good.
Best man on the job. Perfect.
Also coming up, we have Aussie actors Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young right here. It is all happening tonight, live from the traditional lands of the Gadigal people. And our regular Monday man, well, you've already seen him. So
I'm here.
all right, thank God. You broke the fourth wall, Steve.
Wow.
Also a massive Oasis fan. Let's
Yeah,
get to the top story tonight. And an economic nuclear winter, that is the grim warning, as one of the worst stock exchange bloodbaths in history continues to hit global markets. Australia, not immune, with billions of investor dollars wiped amid fears the world is heading straight for recession.
These escalating trade tensions are casting a dark shadow over the global economy.
The superannuation accounts of Australians are falling by the hour.
It is the job situation that Australia's got to worry about.
It just shows you the raw power of Donald Trump.
Within the first few minutes of trade this morning, more than $160 billion wiped off the Aussie share market. Before regaining some ground, the ASX 200 tumbling more than 6%.
Just in terms of its economic shock, it's very, very large, bigger than COVID, bigger than 2008.
Rattled investors fleeing in a broad and brutal market sell-off, with heavy losses in mining, banking and energy stocks.
That impacts Australians because superannuation funds had their shares.
The chaos coming in the wake of Trump's tariff rampage, recession panic gripping Wall Street.
We take seriously the warnings of the risk of a global recession.
After China dropped its 34% retaliatory tariff bombshell, triggering fears of a full-blown trade war. The Aussie dollar today plunging below 60 US cents for the first time since the COVID pandemic.
That is largely a reflection of people's concerns about the Chinese economy, but it also reflects the fact that markets are now expecting 4 interest rate cuts in Australia this calendar year.
Despite the tariff turmoil, the US president is vowing to stick to his swing.
I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
Amid suspicions he's doing the whole thing on purpose after Trump himself reshared this video on Friday.
Trump is crashing the stock market, but he's doing it on purpose. It's a genius play.
He's not trying to take the market. It's a strategy to create a golden age in America for the American worker.
So amid black recession rain clouds, how well can Australia navigate the global market meltdown?
Our Treasury is not expecting the Australian economy to go backwards.
Trump has his hand on the stove, and all we have to do is wait to see how long he keeps it there.
Well, Evan Lucas is our go-to market guru. Evan, what the heck just happened?
Look, I think we just had something that will go down in history books for the 4th time it's happened in the US in history. And to put that into context, what happened on Thursday and Friday, which was over a 10% move in 48 hours in the US, has only happened in October 87, in November 08 and March 2020. And those 3 events, if you can remember what they were Black Monday, the start of the GFC and the start of COVID. So clearly it is something. It's a very, very big reaction to the changes that has now happened in global markets, that's happened in global trade and also in global economics, and how we actually get our head around dealing with this going into the future.
And how does this compare to the other big drops we've seen in the past?
It's about the same, Sarah. So, again, I think we need to compare ourselves to that first couple of weeks in March in 2020. It was the uncertainty. This time it's geopolitical rather than being a health crisis. The overall sort of impact that it's going to have on movement of trade, and that was the same in the health crisis with COVID as well, movement of goods. That's the similar comparison. From there, it completely diverges. I mean, we could see a president that could completely backflips, could get harder, could get weaker, could do everything in between. But history shows that events like this happen over and over and over again. Yes, this is a geopolitical one. Yes, it's going to upheave particularly exporting nations. Will it get through it? Time will tell you that it will. Despite him trying to tell you that he's going to get a third term, there will be change. The catch is right now it will feel like it can't end and that it will only get worse before it gets better. That's probably true, but I know time will actually fix it.
The government here, meanwhile, acknowledges an increased risk, but nonetheless says they're not expecting a recession here in Australia. Do you think that's right?
I'm not as confident on that, Waleed. I mean, admittedly, we've got an RBA that has a lot of ammunition in his back pocket to cut rates, to therefore allow the consumer to feel that they've got a bit more freedom. But it's the indirect effects from the tariffs. We've got to look at the impact on China, but not just China, our other major export nations, things like Japan, things like South Korea, players like India. They are what make me a little bit more nervous, is that we import a lot of their products. Now, it might actually get cheaper for us, and that actually may stave off recession. But if the consumer gets really worried about the whole global scenario and stops consuming, then a recession is certainly a possibility.
Evan, let's walk back from the global situation and talk about individuals in Australia. We've all got superannuation. They will have taken, the superannuation funds would have taken a hit today. Blindfold on or blindfold off? Do you look?
You look, Steve. I think you need to look. And the reason you need to look is you need to understand your positioning. Because again, let's take the retiree that may be retiring today. They will be obviously under a real amount of pressure and feeling that pressure. But if you think about the average Australian retiring today at 65, let's say that's when they're doing it, the average female will live to about 84 to 87. The average male is about 82 to 85. So you're talking about, 20 to 18 to even as much as 25 years from today. Your money needs to extend out through that period. So you look today and go, OK, I can sort of move down the assets, go to things like cash, go to bonds, but you still have to have equities because they are going to extend your overall retirement savings into the future.
Worst thing about that is I've just realised I've only got 12 years to live.
Oh, no, Price. You're going to live forever.
Oh, very sad. Sorry, no money either.
You better spend it all now, Steve.
Well, on that sad note, Evan Lucas, appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Let's hope I last a bit longer than that. European markets opened about half an hour ago, dropped by 10 points. So it's getting worse as we go around the globe. This has dropped like a bomb in the middle of the election campaign, and it's now going to frame every discussion that both sides have to have. Because, if they're spending money, I mean, the whole election campaign is now going to be framed around, from a Labor point of view, 4 rate cuts this year, which is a positive for the government.
And potentially flagging economy that leads to that.
And I just feel for people who've just retired or are about to retire, and they just see their income on their superannuation just dropping like a rock.
And they might have to, work, just keep working?
2 more years, 3 more years, yep. Including me.
No, thanks. You're going to be going forever.
Well, glad to have you here, Price. You've got to take a break. We'll see you very soon.
Countdown is on. If you've just joined us, we're not even going to tell you why. Just see what happens in 40 minutes.
Well, you need to hang on. We've got just over 40 minutes before all will be revealed, Pricey.
Yeah. Okay. You do remember this.
I'm not a very patient man.
Yeah. Well, 40 minutes, we'll find out.
OK.
All right, let's get into some more news now. And floodwaters across Western Queensland have now peaked, allowing 200 Thargomindah residents to return home to assess the damage. Sadly, it appears only 12 out of the 140 homes were spared.
We're trying to focus on what we can save, not what we're losing. I think it's the only way you can look at it, or it cripples you.
With this recent rain event, 2025 is on track to become Queensland's wettest year ever. Townsville's already broken its annual rainfall record. It's already had almost 2.5 metres, and it's only April.
Final preparations are underway for the inquest into last year's horrific Bondi Junction stabbings. The coroner has been told the families of those killed have mixed feelings about the proceedings, which begin later this month. While some have expressed their support for the inquest, others want it shelved. The inquest will examine a raft of issues, including the state of Australia's mental health system. This Sunday marks the first anniversary of the tragedy.
In other news, the results from the latest national Aussie bird count are in. The rainbow lorikeet is our most commonly spotted bird. 57,000 Aussies took part in the count, which put the noisy myna in second place. I've got a couple of those. Paul and Harry are their names. Swooping in ahead of the magpie in third. Also in the top 10, sulphur-crested cockatoo.
Oh, beautiful.
Galahs and the ibis, otherwise known as the bin chicken.
Birds are such a fabulous way to get people involved in citizen science. They are a really good indicator of how our environment is faring and a really great way to get people out and connected with nature.
And with the kookaburra.
Sorry, the kookaburra.
Where's the kookaburra?
I mean, that's the problem. No one's seen it.
Did you ring in and tell them you'd seen some kookaburras, Steve?
I see them all the time.
Well, then ring in.
You've got to ring in. I also see a
kookaburra.
Maybe you should stop worrying about this countdown clock and just sort out the kookaburra situation. Right. With the election campaign well underway, it's not only policies federal MPs are dropping on the people. Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce has revealed the top 5 tracks on his playlist. He's got Jimi Hendrix's version of Johnny B. Good. Listen to this list. The Rolling Stones' Jigsaw Puzzle, Danny California by Red Hot Chili Peppers, then Elvira Madigan's Mozart. Coming in at top spot on his list, Radiohead's Weird Fishes.
Weird Fish. Oh, what a song.
It's over by the world.
It is a ripping song.
It's what, look, I can't handle it. My favourite band is Radiohead, and it's also Barnaby Joyce.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Also a moving tribute to the state of salmon farming in Tasmania, I believe.
Right, yes. Yeah. Well, maybe he's getting ahead of what will happen with this nuclear policy and what it's going to do to the fish, you know, like a bit of weird fish action going on.
I think this is one of the coolest lists I've seen from a politician.
Is it real?
Do you think it's curated by a spin doctor, or do you think he genuinely, like Johnny B. Good, I can kind of see him listening to Mozart?
It's got a bit of Obama to it. You know, when Obama, how he puts out, and you're like, oh my God, it's the coolest guy of all
but don't you think? But who? Okay, let's assume it's a spin doctor curating.
Yeah.
Who's the audience for that? Like when I think of the people,
stoners.
What are you saying? Are you calling me a stoner? Because I'm like, that's some good stuff.
If it fits, Sam. Well. I don't know. Like, it seems like a very cool list. It surprised me.
Yeah. I don't think politicians should. I think they should sit in silence and focus on policy. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
You just began a political career.
I'm going to become a politician now. Hey, our favourite politician, though, Mayor Tom Tate from the Gold Coast, he's asked Anthony Albanese to chip in for the Gold Coast beach clean-up. It's important stuff, but I think he needs a therapist because he needs to clean up this Tate family drama first.
The federal government would sit back and go, we're really devastated and we're sorry to see it happen, but I give you no money. It's like one of those uncles that, you know, come to your Christmas party. I love you, I cuddle you, but there's no present.
Make sure you give kids presents because they might grow up to be politicians otherwise. This is serious.
I feel like Mambo No. 5 would be his top played song, don't you reckon? It's time for a break. We'll see you soon.
The economy, it's in the bin. That means sport is all we have right now. That's it. Sit back right now. Let me wrap it all up for you and enjoy it because this is as good as it gets. This is what life is now. Right, let's start with the AFL because all the teams are heading to South Australia for gather round. And Saints forward Jack Higgins, I don't think he's a fan.
Any plans for the week in Adelaide?
No, I don't like Adelaide, so I've only been playing Call of Duty with the boys.
Well, I know it's Adelaide, but there's plenty to do, Jack. Get out there and stare at those balls. Look, I don't get it. I love Adelaide. I think it's great, and they have some of the most passionate football fans in the country. It's beautiful. Look at the heartwarming spirit here when this local club won after the siren. So there it goes up. Beautiful. Look at this. Look what it means to these guys. It's actually so sweet. It's beautiful. He's still going. And people say Australia has no culture. It's just, what a lie. Speaking of passion, the freezing weather didn't stop these Major League Baseball fans, like really, and I mean really, enjoying this game.
See, that's how you stay. It's a game close fight.
Well, I mean, what about his hat? And people say baseball is boring. I'm watching it every day now. Now, it is struggling, though, baseball. I'm not sure. They're struggling to attract young fans, which is a surprise because I watched a bunch of it today, and the commentary is so fresh and vibrant.
Did you get the password?
No, it says I can't get emails on that email.
Right, because you have to probably reset the password.
Oh, but when I try to reset the password, I put in a new one and it doesn't do anything.
You sure you still have that account?
I have no idea.
Word for word, the same conversation I had with Steve Price in the ad break earlier. Thank you very much.
No, that was terrible.
Yeah, his password's 1234. In case now let's go to the NBA. These two lucky fans had won a competition to compete at halftime, and let me tell you, it was a big break for one of them.
Tick, tack, go!
Okay, here we go. This guy's going up. Oh no! He collapsed faster than the share market.
Is good.
Is he okay?
I mean...
Oh, that's a tough MCing gig.
I don't...
Oh, no. They had to stretcher him out.
CM, I can't give you a winner. Back to you.
What are you doing? Now, don't feel too bad. It is 15 grand in medical bills for the ACL, but he did win a $50 JB Hi-Fi voucher. Finally, guys, let's go to cricket. New Zealand beat Pakistan in their one-day series. It was full of highlights, lowlights, and whatever light this is.
What's on? You know what's on here, don't you?
So here's a delivery coming in. Oh!
Oh my goodness! They could not have cut out the worst. He is just about to release the delivery. Why did he let it go?
What happened? Did Tony Soprano get whacked? What just happened? A very niche joke there, but it's crazy, and no one knew what to do except these two. They were onto it straight away. They just knew what to do straight away. Unbelievable what goes on in the sporting world. Thank you. I mean, Bryce, I'll help you again with that password, mate.
How does anyone own that cap? Still ahead, his hot property in Hollywood and his transformation for his new role is truly mind-blowing. Now Jacob Elordi is back home and right here.
He looks like the guy from Learning to Break.
The clock is back. If you are just joining us, that clock is counting down to some pretty big, spectacular Oasis news.
Yeah.
Happy with that, Steve?
Happy.
You're across it now, right?
Delighted, happy.
It's the emotion.
You know who Oasis is, right?
What's that?
Okay. Indeed. It's a political backflip for the ages. The coalition today walking back two controversial policies that it stood by for weeks. But will the change of heart help or hurt its chances of beating Labor?
After a tireless crusade against public servants working from home,
I'm not going to tolerate a position where taxpayers are working harder than ever to pay their own bills, and they're seeing public servants in Canberra refuse to go to work.
And plans to slash government jobs by the thousands.
Will reverse Labor's increase of 41,000 Canberra public servants because it will save about $7 billion a year.
Today, the coalition put on its gymnastics gear to perform a spectacular backflip.
Just keep making history, Simone Biles. We've made a mistake. We apologise for that and we've dealt with it.
Walking back its demand that all public servants return to the office full-time after backlash calling the move a Trump-like policy that would hit working women hardest.
Will you be asking for forgiveness from female voters?
I think I am today.
Peter Dutton has said that they'll end that flexibility. He now wants to pretend that policy hasn't existed.
His policy about work from home has changed about 8 times in the last month.
The coalition clapping back over Labor's claim its back to the office call would also bleed out to the private sector.
It's a policy that has been pursued by Labor with an unreasonable and unfair scare campaign.
Also gone, their plan to cut more than 40,000 government employees.
There will be no forced redundancies. That will be done through natural attrition and through a hiring freeze.
Peter Dutton's coalition is an absolute bin fire of cuts and chaos.
It comes as Labor is leading the coalition 52 to 48% in the latest poll. But in terms of Australia's top poly, Senator Jackie Lambie has blitzed the field with the highest net approval rating, above both Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton.
There'll be scores of polling between now and the election, and we've got work to do. There's no question about that.
So what will all these backflips mean for the coalition when voters head to the polls? And will they be able to stick the landing?
And Senator Jackie Lambie joins us now. Senator, welcome and congratulations on topping the list of pollies as far as approval ratings go, with the whopping approval rating of -1, which is wonderful. Does Australia have a politician problem if that wins?
What's going on here? What happened to the free Ferrari?
Yeah.
Ferrari. What happened to the Ferrari? I'm supposed to win. No holiday? No round the world trip?
No.
What's going on?
Well, we had plans, but the stock market got in the way. I'm
it's been
sorry.
a bad day,
It's
Jackie.
just how it works.
You sound like those politicians. Excuses, excuses, excuses.
All right, well, I'll take that as the answer to question 1. Question 2. The coalition has backflipped on ordering public servants back to the office. What are your reflections on that policy?
You know, what, Waleed, I think that he's had a really big bitch slap over this, and he's actually felt it, and he's got the courage, unlike many others, to say, whoosha, felt that slap, better back it off here. So I think that, you know, he's heard what people are saying on the ground. I don't have a problem if people got the courage, even if it's going into an election, to say, you know what, we got this wrong. So you can't go at Dutton for that.
Hey, Jackie, also today we heard that there will be no forced redundancies in the public service if Peter Dutton is elected. You've been a really strong critic of public service cuts. So do you think he's done the right thing here as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Although I still don't trust him with those public service cuts, I have to be honest with you. It really bothers me because those public service cuts, even though he says they're not front line, they've got to come from somewhere. And when you've got a whole new system as big as it is with the NDIS, when you've got the Veterans, Department of Veterans Affairs in there, when you've got Centrelink, mate, and you have all those complex problems and issues in there, having a revolving door of staff is just not on. We've seen what happened under Veterans Affairs for 9 years with contractors, $20 billion on contractors the Liberal Party used in the last, over their 9 years that they were in. The trouble is that when you go to estimates, you go, you ask them a question, they go, well, that's not my problem, we've got that contracted out. I mean, we've seen what happened in Robodebt and all that. We just can't go back to those bad old days. You know, they're really complex issues there, and taking people out of those departments is not on. And as well as that, we just cannot afford for that unemployment rate to start going up with everything else that's going on.
Jackie, we're just 10 days into this election campaign. Seems like 10 months, but Peter Dutton, if you look at the polls, is now a very long chance to win. He's an underdog. Do you still think the coalition can win this election?
You know what, I think, knowing Pete, he's certainly not going to give up. He's going to run it all the way through to the end. He's a pretty decent human being. No matter what you think of his politics, it doesn't matter. Pete will give it all the best he possibly can because that's the sort of man he is. He'll run it through. I think he's starting to fall down, so unless something big happens or something, I think he's starting to lose that momentum that he gathered over that Christmas period. I think reality's setting in. You know, do we go back to 9 years under the Liberals? Or do we now see what the Labor, they've spent 3 years in cleaning up and getting everything put into action. Well, let's see what the action looks like. Let's see, because the next 3 years will make or break the Labor Party.
G'day, Jackie. Big boy here. Not sure if you remember calling me that. I hope you do, otherwise that
big
was...
boy!
Hey, there we go.
Hello, big boy!
Hey, not bad at all.
You're
Hey,
my
He can be your first bloke, given you're the people's
my
PM.
favourite.
I'm your favourite? Oh, my God. That's...
You are my favourite big boy. Don't tell the rest of them. That'll kill me for tomorrow in the media.
Well, they can hear you. But, hey, I have a question.
Well,
Earlier
what can I do?
Earlier on the show, we were talking about
That's
Barnaby
good.
Joyce's playlist. He was talking about his favourite songs. What are some of your top songs? Is it Jackie?
Oh, is it Jackie? That's not even funny anymore. So, I
thought it was your big boy.
Not anymore.
It's not the favourite anymore.
I think for a Monday, mate, girls just want to have fun.
Oh, that's
you.
That's good
girls
stuff.
Just want to have fun. God, I won't be going on the what's name singer anytime soon.
Yeah.
What's it called, the Masked Singer?
Yeah, well,
you won't see me on that.
Well, you won't see anyone on it at the moment.
For several years. Hey, good to speak. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me on. Good luck to you.
She's a beauty.
Yes. Now, Do you think it's over?
No, not yet, because there's still 3 weeks to go. But Peter Dutton's now coming from a long way behind. I mean, obviously the Labor scare campaign about the working from home worked brilliantly. Libs have done polling, and they've said you've got to bin this because people think it's not Canberra public servants only; it's everybody. And the coalition thinks it can win the election in the outer suburbs. Well, who's in the outer suburbs? There's a lot of people who need to work from home because they don't want to commute.
For whom working from home would make the biggest difference because they've got the commute. Yeah.
So that's got to go in the bin. But look, what's happened today with Trump's tariffs? I mean, this will be a one-day wonder because people are now worried about whether they're going to have a job, let alone work from home.
Yeah.
That's going to be the big issue. That's going to dominate the rest of the election campaign. Is that a good or a bad thing for the coalition? It's probably not a great thing.
Well, I can't see how it's a good thing.
No.
Because the weirdest thing has happened. We've gone from, maybe 6 months ago, November, when Donald Trump was elected, thinking the last thing you want to do is be in government because you're going to get turfed out, to suddenly that being your race.
Totally. Well, the election's coming up, and just quickly, I have a bit of beef with the AEC at the moment, the Electoral Commission. I made fun of them, their TikTok account on this show. And as an olive branch, I just want to help them out and say, if you want to enrol to vote, if you haven't done it, 8 p.m. is the shut-off time tonight. Our beef is now squashed, AEC.
Yeah. I was waiting for a punchline.
No, that was I'm in their bad books, and they direct messaged me on what's it called, TikTok, and I just want to say I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
It is an important message, actually.
It is enroll to vote. It's very important.
My youngest enrolled today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His birthday's going to happen between now and the election, and he's ready to go.
Oh, you never forget that first election.
It's so funny because until now he was like full of all political opinions, and then I said, "Do you feel grown up?" And he goes, well, now it actually matters.
It does
I have to know what I'm talking about.
Because, there's a lot of stuff happening in this country, so it does matter. For example, in South Australia at the moment, they've got a new tourism campaign. It's the slogan. It's called, they say, celebrate the simple pleasures. That's what they're saying in South Australia. This guy, I think, has celebrated too much.
Do you think South Australia offers simple pleasures?
Oh, it offers all sorts of pleasures.
I think someone touched the Moore's balls for too long.
Good one, big boy.
They're clapping that, yes!
Was that the guy we saw at the baseball? Anyway, more project on the way. Stick around, including our chat with Aussie actors Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young. Look at them! See you soon.
Well, he has shut down Hollywood Boulevard. He's been given his own official day in Las Vegas, and now he is taking the party home to the Gold Coast.
It's that time for you to get on the floor. Now move that body and show me you want some more.
In the spirit of tough gig, but someone's got to do it, allow me to present global superstar DJ Fisher.
Let's party, baby.
Forced to travel to exotic locations and entertain dance music fans across the globe, Fisher's life seems like one giant, never-ending spectacular. From Ibiza to Vegas, now Fisher's bringing the party back home, headlining the Out to Lunch Festival, which guarantees to quicken the pulse and whip the crowd into a sweating frenzy. Again, tough gig. Hope he's up to it.
The Fish himself joins us now. Please welcome Fisher.
Unbelievable. Hey, Fisher, mate, it's good we can finally talk fishing on this show. This is fantastic. I've got a question. What's your favourite live bait rig? What do you do when you're out there off the reef trying to, get some big game, some marlin or something?
Fishing.
Oh, I think we didn't get... Rightly so if you didn't hear, because that was a silly question.
It's probably for the best for everyone. Hey, Fisher, you're bringing your Out to Lunch Festival back to the Gold Coast for a second year, and you're a Goldie local. How good is it playing to a hometown crowd?
Oh, it's the best. It took me like 5 years to get that one over the line last year, and there was some amazing scenes on the beach there in Coolangatta, and just to be able to do it this year again is going to be super special. But yeah, I've never played on the Gold Coast. That was the first time last year, so it was amazing.
You're a bit of a gun in the surf, we're told. Have you had a chance to get out in the waves since you've been back there?
Nah, haven't. I wasn't around for the cyclone or anything like that, but old Alfred blew the beach away for me, so I'm pretty pissed off with him.
It was a huge swell. There's no sand left. What's more scary? Fish? Is that what I call fisher? Fish? Sharks or schoolies?
Oh, I'd have to say schoolies.
Why?
Because they're loose units.
You wouldn't know anything about loose units, I can tell. Just before we go on, what is it with DJs and bucket hats at the moment? We had Thrill on the other week. What is going on with this?
I don't know. I used to have no hair, so it would protect me from the sun, but now I've got hair and I don't know. I might have to get rid of it, but I'm loving it, mate.
Well, do you want to take it off now so we can get a look at the hair?
Oh.
Well, hello. Here we go.
What a respectable fisherman.
It's a lovely, The great thing about that is it wouldn't have mattered what your hair looked like, you would have got a cheer. This would have been that way. Hey, let's talk about this officially recognised...
It's good to be back.
This official day you have in Las Vegas, Day of the Fish. This is an honour that's given to you by the mayor. What is it?
Mate, I have no idea. I just got given it and, I took it.
Wait, you've got no idea?
Nah, I literally have a residence over there. I play every other week and the guy goes, hey, how's about to give you a day? And I said, well, I'll take it. Let's go.
You're a public holiday. I love that. Hey, you've also just become a dad, which is I want to know, how are you juggling those late nights in Ibiza and early starts with a baby?
Yeah, I come straight from the club and, the babysitting starts. It's on. There's no sleep for the fish, let me tell you.
Right. Have you had to change your touring schedule in any way to deal with having the family?
Nah, she's actually been to 12 countries, believe it or not, and she's only 9 months old. So she's on my schedule.
And finally, mate, so if I'm in the high country, right, and I'm in a creek and I want to cast a line, what lure do I use?
Sam. I can't hear a word you said.
It's red.
Lucky for you.
It's red a bomb twice in one interview.
He refuses any of these questions. I just can't hear them.
Fair enough.
Science has intervened or something, I don't know. Tickets for Out to Lunch are on sale now. In the meantime, would you please thank Fisher?
We have been counting down to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Oasis. The clock is back and all will be revealed right after this. This is the project. It is time.
It's so exciting,
people. It's time for our big Oasis announcement. Check this out.
This week on The Project, are you the ultimate Oasis fan? Before they land in Australia for their stadium tour, we're giving you and a mate the chance to see the Gallagher brothers in London or Manchester. All you have to do is watch The Project, grab the code word and enter at 10play.com.au/win.
This is huge. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be a winner called Tam Taunton. Yeah, I can feel it.
So there are 8 experiences up for grabs.
Yes.
To either go to see the boys in London or their hometown of Manchester. 8 experiences. You get to take a mate. You go over on us.
Yeah.
You see the concert. I mean...
Exactly.
I suspect we'll need to choose Manchester.
I would love to see them in Manchester, because imagine them in Manchester.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like going to see the Beatles in Liverpool, right?
Yeah, it would just be unbelievable. Like the Beatles. That's quite a cutting remark there, Steve. But
yes, exactly. He didn't realise what he did, but it was very clever, Pricey. It would be amazing. London also, it would be fantastic. But I think there's something about doing it in Manchester. If you don't have a friend, don't worry, I'm available.
And these tickets are so hard to get, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were sold out so quickly in Australia. So imagine going over the pond to see them.
Yeah, I guess because we bought them all, did we?
Yeah.
That's how they
Yeah, you're going to say watching for a code word, enter at 10 play, and keep it locked to us because more details will be.
We're going to still have a clock next week, or is that gone?
The clock might be done.
The clock's going to go till the concert starts.
I think you're looking at 3 people who are considering resigning just to enter this competition.
It's hard to do the show.
Has anyone checked the T's and C's?
I don't know.
No. Who does that?
All right, our next guest. The 2 latest Aussie exports that are conquering Hollywood. Let's meet them.
Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young are proving to be our brightest new stars.
Do you like it?
Very much.
Jacob recently smouldering as Elvis in Priscilla. And, of course, the tour de force that was Saltburn.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
And Odessa appearing in hits like The Staircase and Stephen King's The Stand.
Are you real?
Ask me again in a little while.
Now, the pair is set to star in a new series, The Narrow Road to the Deep North.
You a gambling man? Occasionally, yeah. 10 shillings, you make it through the entire year alive.
About a prisoner of war whose memory of his one true love helps him survive the darkest of times.
Be sure to enjoy your weekend, Dorigo.
Oh, you dance, do you?
Do you love him?
Would you please welcome Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young? Very excited. Thank you guys for being here. Before we get into this in earnest, Odessa, I caught you spotting yourself in the monitor just before and freaking out.
We don't need to talk about it.
Why? Why can't you?
It's really hard to see. That's horrible.
What do you mean? Hey, there we go. Someone else.
I also, it helps. I don't have my glasses on right now, so for all I know, it could be anyone.
But you realise your work is like on camera.
Yeah.
That's a bad job for you to have.
I know. I have no other qualifications. I can't back out.
Anyway, well, we're glad you're putting up with it for us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's really tough.
Jacob, welcome back to Australia. How does it feel? This is an epic show. How does it feel to be part of an epic Australian project like this?
Mate, it's huge. I've wanted to work at home since I left home, so it's massive for me. And working with Justin Kurzel has been a dream of mine since I was about 14 or 15 years old. So it's like it's surreal.
The term leading man often gets associated with you now. They say leading man. It's very exciting. How does it feel? I know, right? Leading man. People describe me as a following man. So, like, how does it feel to be out in front, leading the way?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm just super grateful that I get to keep working, again and again and again. It's kind of the only thing that I'm okay at. Anything else that I'm kind of really dud at. So it's, it's a dream come true. It sounds really cliched, but it is. It's my literal dream.
I think Sam wants to know how he could become...
Yeah, it's more about me, to be honest, but you're doing great, I agree.
Odessa, you are also based overseas. How nice is it to come home and actually be able to do the Aussie accent for a decent amount of time?
I was telling Jacob didn't know this, I had to get an accent coach to get back to Australia.
No. Really?
No. For so long.
What was the trickiest kind of phrasing or wording that you struggled with?
I think it's just like the roundness of the American accent I've picked up. Yeah. It's really hard over there to ask for a glass of water. You have to say water. And so you just pick things up and I had to when I did my audition for this show, I was watching all these self-tapes back going, I sound completely American. If I get this, I'm going to have to really work on it. And then I got it, and I had to really work on it.
Was it hard for you listening to your voice back? If you hate seeing yourself on screen, do you also hate listening to your voice?
Yes, it's all bad. It's all terrible.
Right, oh, God.
Yeah.
It's a traumatic experience.
I pay a lot of money for therapy.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Jacob, you play a prisoner of war in this. Mm-hmm. It's brutal. I mean, how hard were those scenes to shoot, knowing that in the past, in history, Australian troops and others went through that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're never even going to get close to what those men endured. But, after talking to Richard Flanagan and sort of working with Justin Kurzel, you know that you're going to have to make it sort of as real as is humanly possible in an artistic kind of way. So it was gruelling, but it was also, there was a great sense of love while we were working, because it was a bunch of young guys together working towards like a common goal and a common understanding of truth. So it was, while it was grueling, it was also like incredibly fulfilling.
Well, you went and saw Flanagan. How important were his words? And when you read them and read the book, did that help you portray that character?
Yeah, I mean, Richard Flanagan doesn't waste words. He kind of speaks in poetry, and everything that comes out of his mouth is profound. And then 2 days after speaking to him, you'll get an email that kind of, you know, breaks down what he said and further confirms it. He's a genius, and when you're working with somebody like him or Justin Kurzel, they kind of do the work for you, and you just kind of have to make yourself open, you know, to be able to...
Well, you really committed to the role. I mean, we saw you literally wasting away on screen, and the background actors as well, they committed to that too, right?
Yeah, there was a group of, I mean, maybe like 40 blokes in total that went through a sort of rigorous 6-week period where we had nutritionists and trainers that helped us kind of not eat food. Yeah.
That seems like an easy job for a See that? Don't eat it. Wow.
Yeah. It was, but it was a lot of, you know, everyone was responsible to each other, and our kind of the love for each other kind of hit a level that you don't really get in everyday life, or sort of.
That's leading man stuff right there, man.
Not surprisingly, I mean, there's been gushing praise from critics. In fact, one said that this has the potential to stand alongside films like Gallipoli, which is pretty iconic. How special, Odessa, is that to hear something like that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, every time you go into a project, you hope that that's going to be what people say about it. But you don't show up at work every day for that. You show up to do the best that you can do in that situation, in those circumstances. So it's just, yeah, it's amazing to get that feedback.
It's amazing work, but just so you know, in Australia we say project, not project. So just for that.
Back to the accent, coach.
This is what I mean.
Apart from that, it was amazing. So,
Giving myself away.
Well done.
Well, all 5 episodes of The Narrow Road to the Deep North will premiere on Prime Video April 18. Would you please put your hands together for Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young?
That's it from us tonight.